clients bring me some of the most interesting stories and ask me to solve some of the most difficult problems. A few years ago, a good referral came from a business network, and when I went to see the new clients, I heard the most horrendous story of cruelty and fraud, and it related to the sale of a high-end property or farm in the Western Cape, and the person who had taken ownership of the farm through a fraudulent process was conducting himself in such a cruel and unbelievable manner, and I was contracted to bring a change in the direction in line with the intention of the sales contract. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what went wrong, but I'm going to relate a very funny story. So in this process, I had to travel quite far by plane, hire a 4x4, travel quite far by 4x4 to get to the heart of this guy's where he lived in a very remote area. It took me days to get there, and I had to have very strict operational security in this process, simply because I'd done some research on this guy, and I'd actually come quite close to him through my investigation to establish that he was very proud of the fact that he had misrepresented the sale and had gotten a very expensive farm for what he thought was a very small amount, and I had to rectify this, and where his where he lived, where his actual farm was very remote, and it's it's an area that is difficult to get to without being noticed. So my task was to get there and to set in motion corrective measures. Well, that part of the process wasn't too difficult. I found a place, a base, a B&B where I had booked into, and I set all my kits out, went out, did what I had to do, and arrived back at the very small hours of the morning. And being very tired, it'd been a long few days, and I got back, I secured the premises. I was operating by myself, so I had no backup, so I secured myself in the room that I had rented at the B&B, and it was very specifically chosen. I cable tied the windows and made sure I was completely secure that I could sleep without anybody being able to get in and surprise me. Anyway, I slept, had a shower, freshened up, had something to eat, put the aircon on, and set myself to sleep for 6 hours. And 6 hours later I woke up, because I had timed it that I'd had just enough time to wake up, freshen up, get dressed, shave, make myself look presentable, and get back for it was a 6 or 7 hour drive to the airport, and fly back home. So I woke up the next morning and got everything ready, packed myself up, and when I was going through the whole process of packing everything, I saw in the shower that the soap was missing, and I knew that I'd showered the night before, and in the soap rack there was no soap, and I knew that I hadn't put it anywhere else. I thought, oh yeah, here we go, I've been compromised. I'm going to I need to get on top of my game here. And I went and I looked in the bathroom, I looked everywhere, and I thought, no, there's something amiss here. Very nervous now, because I'm far away, and I was nervous. Anyway, I scratched. Eventually, I found repacked all my kits, and I looked in my camel pack now. Inside my camel pack, my camel hydration pack, I found the soap. But what had happened was the night before I'd hung the camel pack on the soap rack to drain the water out. You don't want to fly an airplane with a camel pack full of water and get your luggage wet. But it was a very nervous time for me. But yeah, I wasn't compromised. The outcome of the case later on, that Whether it was through my intervention or not, who's to know? I was paid to do what I did, and the case was won. It went to the appeals court, but eventually the case was won, and but that's just one of the small anecdotes of my participation in this process.